everyone! In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a margarita pizza, in addition to making a pizza that might be a little bit less authentic but just as good. I hope you enjoy! Now let's get on with the video! Now every good pizza starts out with dough. So for this, I added 2 cups of water to 2 cups of active dry yeast, and I left it bloom for about 15 minutes before adding my flour. Now for my flour, I use the 00 pizza flour. This is crucially important because it makes your dough a lot more chewy. And then I added about 4 cups of this to a large bowl, making sure to level and measure it out. Measuring cups work fine for this recipe, but if you have a food scale, that works great as well. And then I added about 4 teaspoons of salt, and then I just stirred this all together, adding my yeast water mixture until I got like a nice ball shape. This took, I would say, about 5 minutes to get it this consistency, and once it was there, then I just covered it with some plastic wrap and put it in my refrigerator overnight. The next day, I took out some parchment paper and then I cut my dough, which had risen quite a bit, and I made that into 4 balls. And then I just put them on the parchment paper and let them rise on my counter until I was ready to use them to make my pizzas. Personally, after I formed them into these balls, I then put them back in my refrigerator for about 2 days until I was ready to serve, but this is not necessary. But just make sure if you are going to leave them in there for that long, set them at about 4 hours before your cooking time. Letting them sit in the fridge for this long allows the yeast and gluten to develop a lot. When you're ready to cook, I would say preheat your oven to 500 degrees or as high as it goes. Mine goes a little bit higher, but I wasn't sure. And also, while you're preheating the oven, make sure to put your pizza stone in. Now for this recipe, I use fresh mozzarella. This is what I can find in my grocery store, but you can definitely find better elsewhere. But I just went, like I said, to my local grocery store. And then you're going to cut this into very, very thin pieces and then place them on some paper towel or on a regular towel if you have it. The reason why I'm doing this is so I can drain my liquid and pat it dry. You're just going to pat it dry with a paper towel and let it sit for about 15 minutes while you get the rest of your ingredients together. Now for my sauce, in this video I'm going to show you 1 clove, but I actually used 2 cloves for my sauce. So I cut up 2 cloves of garlic, and then I put them with some San Marzano crushed tomatoes. The reason why I do them, I just think these tomatoes have a much better flavor, and they're not as acidic as I would say other canned tomatoes, which is really good. So then I added those to a bowl in addition to my garlic cloves, and then I just kind of mashed the canned tomatoes together with the garlic, and then I added a little bit of oregano and salt and pepper. Make sure to taste your sauce for seasoning before moving on. Now moving on to our dough. First, you want to flour your surface, then you want to add 1 of your 4 balls of dough, and then you want to roll it out with a rolling pin until you get about a 12-inch diameter with your ball of dough. This is, of course, just an estimate. And then you're going to place your dough onto your heated pizza stone, and then you just kind of spread it out. Be very careful, it should be very hot. Make sure not to burn yourself, but as you can see, it's already starting to cook a little bit. And then you're going to add your sauce. I do really just a thin layer because this pizza, especially because the crust is so thin, it gets super duper watery, so you don't want it to be really, really thick. And then you want to add your cheese. This is just your basic margarita, so you just need sauce and cheese before putting it in the oven. And then I put this in the oven for about 7 to 8 minutes. Because I was making 2 pizzas, I just used the leftover flour and I began to roll my pizza dough out. Don't put the toppings on yet, but just roll it out to make sure that you have a bigger space, and then you can also do a little bit of cleaning while you wait. In addition, I actually put my extra dough in some Ziploc bags and I froze it. After about 7 minutes, I took it out of the oven and I let my pizza cool for about, I would say like a minute or so before I began to transfer it to a sheet pan so I can work on cooking my other pizza. And the sheet pan worked really well. It transferred very, very easily. And then I started by making my other pizza. I started again with adding my sauce, and then my cheese, but for this pizza, I actually used a little bit of mushrooms and some pepperoni before I put it in the oven. This gave it like a different flavor. It's kind of more Americanized, but I still enjoyed it either way. And then I let that cook for about 7 minutes. And then I moved on to adding my basil to my margarita pizza. It was super easy. I kind of made it into like this little T shape just for decorations, and I thought it actually turned out pretty good before cutting it. It was like crispy and delicious. After 7 minutes, I took out my other pizza, and then I also added some basil as well, just because basil is delicious and who doesn't love basil. And then I just cut into this pizza in addition to cutting into the other one. While this one might not be as traditional, I actually enjoyed this one better as it fit more of my taste buds. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day no matter your situation or location. Goodbye!